I'm Maggie now. Welcome back to episode 11 of the R.I.P. Reading is Phenomenal podcast. So we're going to pick up right where we left off, and we're going to dive into chapter 9. And so in the last podcast, we ended on the idea that Comey wanted to reinvent the FBI, create an organization filled with leaders. And Comey started this mission in addressing one of the most pressing issues facing America right now, the systemic racism embedded in our law enforcement. And so Comey talks about Ferguson and Michael Brown, or Eric Garner and Tamir Rice and Walter Scott, who are just a few victims that died in incidents involving police brutality against black men. And in this chapter, Comey demonstrates that he does try and be the best leader that he can be by being honest. I mean, throughout the book, he criticizes dishonest leaders and commends honest ones. And by admitting that the organization he was the head of, the FBI, has an immense problem facing it, systematic racism, one of those two, showed that he isn't just someone who judges others and doesn't hold himself to the same standard. He does hold himself to that standard. And by living to his own code of honor and not being a hypocrite, Comey continues to develop ethos and builds the audience's trust within him. And so Comey wanted to fix this problem. As FBI director, he did the best that he could. He used his authority, he used his power to promote diversity within the FBI workplace, and also raised awareness about the, quote, hard truths that we all needed to know. He would go to universities like Georgetown University, and he would give speeches about these hard truths, one of those stating that law enforcement needs to realize that it has long enforced the status quo in America of abusing black people, and that law enforcement is here to serve the public, not assert unjust power. And also that it has to override bias. It has to understand that the root causes, and also, but he also said that people have to understand that the root causes of injustice in poor communities are not the police, but something more complex. Comey also had all the FBI offices around the country, about 60 of them, meet up and discuss how they could build trust between the communities they police and themselves. And Comey dealt with pressure from police and from the American public. Police brutality was plaguing the news. One of the comments Comey makes, though, about comparing Blue Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter's movements kind of did bother me. And so basically, just really quickly, he said both movements were important movements that add a voice to a conversation, but both movements cause anger to arise at the other side. And I actually just wanted to say that I disagree with that statement, and I'm going to argue that the Blue Lives Matter movement is not an important movement, and the Black Lives Matter is. I mean, if you think about it, police signed up for their job. They signed up to be put in danger, and it's unfortunate that they have to deal with crime, but it's what they're paid to do. Black people, however, did not sign up to be black in America, and they did not sign up to be stereotyped, biased against, and did not sign up to live in a system that oppresses them. And so Blue Lives Matter was a movement that was created in response to Black Lives Matter. Basically, black people saying, please don't kill us, treat us as equals, and cops saying, well, not all cops are bad. And so, overall, I appreciate that Comey realized a problem in law enforcement, but I don't think he completely got over his own bias toward law enforcement if he is equivocating Black Lives Matter with Blue Lives Matter as equally important movements, because I don't think that's true. And so, yeah, but that's just my opinion and my analysis of that chapter and that idea. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you on the next R.I.P. podcast.